Hey, Andy here from builderhottub.com. In this video, we're going to look at how we configure a Balboa Spa Pack. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so configuring the Spa Pack can be somewhat of a daunting process. So hopefully in this video, I'll try and explain it nice and simply so that you can configure those packs quickly and easily when you are building your own DIY hot tub. So why do we need to configure the packs anyway? Why don't they just work out of the box? Well, the packs themselves have lots of different configuration options. So for example, have you got a circulation pump? How many jet pumps have you got? 1, 2, 3. Have you got a blower? All of these can be different combinations together, and the same pack is actually able to operate all of the different electronics at the same time. So for example, if we have a 2-speed pump and a blower, this requires a different configuration than if we have a circulation pump, a single-speed jet pump and a blower. So it's this kind of a setup that we're looking to change. So let's dive in and you'll see the video behind me. I'm going to actually configure a pack on this video so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So the pack that I'm using is it's a Balboa OEM from Vian, and it's my pack of choice for Europe and the UK. Over in the US, I do like the regular Balboas and the ACCs as well, and I'll do some separate videos on those at a later date. So first things first is we need to actually open up the pack. So you can see it's just 2 screws at the top of the pack, simple Phillips screwdriver, and we can get the front cover off the pack, and then we look inside. But don't worry, it's not as complicated as it looks. You can see a whole bunch of different sockets and that kind of thing, but really it's not that complicated at all. So the first thing that I'm actually going to do is I'm going to connect up the mains power or from an outlet to the pack itself. Now, those eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that the core or the gauge of the wire that I'm using is much smaller than it actually should be for the actual pack. So what I'm going to do for the setup is I'm going to use this, it's just a 5 amp fused extension cable that I've got. I'm actually going to disconnect the heater so that it doesn't kick in. So basically all I've got is a pack that's going to operate a few relays if it does turn on. And in that way, I can configure it before it actually goes to site, before it's in place and it's hard to get into that control room. It just makes life so much easier if you can configure it on your table, at home, or in your workshop, just connected to a regular 240 volt outlet. So once I've got the power connected, the next thing that I'm going to do is connect the top side. So the top side that I'm using here is a TP600 from Balboa. They all look slightly different, but essentially they all work in the same way. So I'm going to plug that into the 4 connector. I can use either of those 2 connectors that you can see on the video, and that then is all I need to do to actually connect the top side. And I need the top side to actually program the unit. Now, on the inside of the cover, as you can see here, you will see that there's all of the different options. I think there's 18 on this particular one. So you need to work out exactly which option you need, and you need to remember that number. So for me, I'm going to set this particular pack up for option 13, which is a circulation pump, a single speed jet pump, and a single speed blower. And I'm using option 13 because this one is actually going out to a customer. Steve, if you're watching, it's coming out to you. But the process is exactly the same regardless of which option you're going for. So remember that option. I'm going to use number 13 for this particular setup. You can also see on the card here that there are different options for the dip switches. Again, it looks more complicated than it actually is. All you're telling the pack is how much current it's allowed to draw, basically. So what the dip switches are doing is saying, well, you can have 1 pump running and a heater, maybe 2 pumps and a heater, maybe 3 and a blower and a heater, and then after that it will cut out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it so that I'm going to put jumper number 4 or dip switch number 4 up so that it's allowing up to 4 pumps. So I can use all of the kit at once and the heater as well. And when I'm finished, all of the other options will be down. But first we need to look at jumper 1, which is the settings jumper. With the top side connected, the next thing that I'm going to do is set the dip switches. So the dip switches are found in the upper right hand corner, as you can see on the video behind me here. And the one that I really need to set is number 1. So number 1, that needs to be in the on position, which on this particular pack, I need to move that switch up. Number 1 allows me to enter the special settings menu on the top side control so that I'm able to set the actual options that I want. You can see here that I've actually disconnected the heater, and it's just a plug-in cable. The reason that I've done it is I don't want the heater to kick in at all by mistake. What will happen is it would blow the fuse on my extension cord that I'm actually using. So all I want the unit to be pulling in terms of current is just enough for if any of those relays are just turning on themselves. Because I've got no plugs, I've got no pumps, no blowers, and I've certainly not got the heater plugged in, so there's nothing that's going to pull any kind of power just while I'm doing the setup here. So now that I've got that settings jumper in place, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch on the power, and you'll see that on the top side control it will actually boot up. It's going to run through the system boot up procedure. It'll tell me what version of the software, etc. And once I'm at the position where it says run pumps purge air, this is where I can actually enter the settings menu. And to do this, I'm going to press warm, warm, light, warm. And I'm going to do that in that order, as you can see behind me, and I'm then able to enter that settings menu, and you'll see that I've got the S for the program number. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the warm button to continue to change that settings number until I get to that number 13, which is the option that I wanted, as I explained earlier. Once I get to 13, I'm then going to press the light button, and that will then save my option. Okay, what will happen is the unit will reboot itself, and when it's fully rebooted, it will be ready to actually use. Now it's time to actually put the settings menu back to normal. So I'm going to drop that dip switch number 1. I'm going to put that to off. That's then is going to just remove that option. It's going to tell the pack that it's ready to go. And that's pretty much me. I'm then going to put dip switch, as I said, number 4 to on. Everything else is going to be off, and that's going to allow me to run all of the kit and the heater at the same time. And now it's just a case of doing everything in reverse. So I'm going to turn off the power. I'm going to remove the power cord. I'm going to plug in the heater again. I'm then going to take away the top side. I'm going to close up the box, and I'm pretty much done. So as you can see, it's really not as complicated as it may seem, but if I can help you in any way, if you do have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. If you've liked this video, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.